Hello and welcome. I'm going to begin with doing a little bit of code on HTML, just a little bit of text to get us started. So this lesson is how to add text to your HTML document. So inside our code section here, I'm going to click into the body section. So just to explain, first of all, I suppose, up here at the top, we have exclamation mark doc type HTML. What that message is doing, it's just telling the browser, the internet browser that you're trying to open the web page on. This is a web document, it's a HTML document, it's a HTML version 5, which is the latest version. That's what that statement means. The next thing we have here is a HTML tag. So anything with an angle bracket here is a tag. And we notice that when we click on it, it becomes highlighted. And also the one at the bottom becomes highlighted. So everything is inside in our HTML tag. All other code inside that. So this is an opening tag and this is a closing tag. And we notice the difference is this backslash here is the difference between the two of them. So every opening tag must have a closing tag. We have our head section then. We're not going to worry too much about our head section at the moment. The head section is basically the setup. So all of the stuff that you have to do to set up your web page. So we'll come back to that a little later. What we're going to look at just now is the body section. So the body section is where everything happens in our web page. It's where all the things that you want displayed is going to be coded. It's where we have all of our main code. So if I just type in here as it is, let's see what happens in our preview over here. Now, it's typing and I'm on a line, it's putting in spaces and that's fine, but it's very plain, it's very blank. I can't really have much control over it. If I press enter on my code and I type in something else, notice that the preview, it doesn't go onto a new line. So over here, I put it on a new line, but it doesn't do that in the preview. So basically what happens in HTML is it ignores our spaces that we normally have in formatting. So what we're used to by pressing the return key is everything going on to the next line. That hasn't happened in the preview. So HTML is ignoring my spaces. So if I press enter again, you notice this doesn't look very pretty over here. So it's not really understanding what I wanted to do. So I need to give it a little bit more instruction. So I'm going to delete that text and I'm going to show you what we need to use. And what that is it's called elements or tags. So basically inside of my body tag, I'm going to put in some elements. And I notice when I press the return key after the body tag, it automatically gives me a little bit of indentation. Indentation is the space here that means that it moves so slightly in. So whatever I'm typing now is under my body tag or it's part of my body tag. All of the elements or tags, all of the code has to be within your opening and your closing body tag. Every tag has an opening and every tag has a closing. Well, almost every tag. We'll talk about a couple of very special ones in a few minutes. But for now, you need to remember you have an opening and you have a closing. So if I want to type in there and I want it to be formatted in some way, I'm going to put in what we call a header tag. So I'm going to open my tag with what I call an angle bracket. It's on the shift key, it's the third key over. So you press shift key and then you move over 3 places. It's the one with the comma on it. So that's where you find it on your keyboard. So open your angle bracket and I'm going to put in H. And I notice here, as I type, code.org gives me some prompts. So if I can't remember my code or my tags, if I type it in, it'll actually prompt me to something. H1 the whole way down to H6, they are all headers. And I'm going to use them just to show you the difference between them. So H1, and I can press return and close my tag. And I'm going to say, hello, this is my web page. And I'm going to close my H1 tag. Now, immediately when I close my tag, that piece of text comes up. But I'm going to make it a little bit easier for you. So as soon as you open a tag, I'm going to ask you to close it. And the reason for that is that it's very easy to forget to close a tag. And then you're trying to figure out why your web page won't work or why it's running an error or why it doesn't look right. And very often it's because you forget to close a tag. So I'll show you another one. So I press enter again. I'm going to type in H4 this time, just to be different. I'm going to close my tag immediately. And then I'm just going to press back arrow and I'm going to type into the side in that. So I opened it, closed it immediately. That way I won't forget to close it. What's happening is people forget to close their tags. And if you do it this way, if you get into the habit of opening and closing immediately, then you won't forget to close it. So open my H4, close my H4 and go back and type in and I'm just going to type in some more text. Hello, this is my web page. And I can see that H4 is obviously smaller than H. So I'm typing in here H6, just to give you another example. And again, I'm going to close it immediately. That way I won't forget to close it. So I open it, close it immediately, and then I go back. And you can see again in your preview over here that these are all headings. H1 is the biggest and H6 is the smallest, and all of the other headings in between. Of course, if we had have put in H2, H3, we have H4 here. If we had put in H5, they would just all be going down in order of size in that way. So that's just an example of how to use the headings. So H1 down as far as H6, depending on the size that you're looking for. Now I'm going to show you just how to put in a paragraph. Before I do that, let me explain that with HTML, with code.org, it gives us a little bit of space between our headings. So headings have this white space around the headings is called some padding, or like a little bit maybe like a margin around the text. So there's inbuilt margin, inbuilt padding on these headings. So let's see how a paragraph looks. So if I put in angle bracket P, close angle bracket, open angle bracket, backslash P, close angle bracket. This is a paragraph tag. So the P is a paragraph tag, and I have my opening and I have my closing, and I always do the two of them together. And then I go back and I type in the information. So in my paragraph, I'm just going to say, I am a paragraph. And if I put in another paragraph, just to show you, open P, close P, go back, I am a paragraph. We notice that there's a little bit of white space around that as well. So paragraphs have a little bit of inbuilt space around them. So that's why it's important to break your information up into paragraphs, because it gives you a little bit of margin around about them, which is quite nice. Now, if you were to put loads of text in there, you'd obviously get a better idea of how it all looks. But I'm just quickly going through how to put in text into this HTML document. And I've shown you how to put in a heading 1, heading 4, heading 6. If you wanted to put in a heading 2, if you wanted to change this one to heading 2, all I could do is change the 4 to a 2. And over here, this now turns pink because they don't match up. So if it's pink in the code, you have an error and the computer is telling you that. So go back and change it to 2. So now that they match, and we can see that this is now a heading 2 in my preview. If anything doesn't change, you just press the refresh and save button and that will update it for you over here. So what we have now is we've got headings and we've got paragraphs, and you have some text in your web page. And just show you a full screen of that. That is what you have done so far. So that's it. That's how you add text to a web page. That's all for now. Thank you.